Hello everybody, this is Guillermo Mariano, and in this video we're going to be talking about DOM, the Shadow DOM and Virtual DOM, and how it applies to Angular development. So I was recently asked in a job interview about what those pieces meant, what those concepts about Shadow DOM and Virtual DOM, how they related, what they were, and how they related to Angular. And so, very briefly, I just wanted to describe what those items are. So, Shadow DOM is a framework agnostic concept that applies to how your style and logic for a component get bundled and encapsulated for you. So in Angular, there's three pieces of every component. So there is the logic that comes inside of a class. There is the actual HTML elements that define what the look and feel of your component is going to be like, and then there's the styles which come in a separate CSS file. All those three pieces bundled together form a component, and via the use of the Shadow DOM, you're able to hide the internals of your component to the browser, make it look like it's a custom component that can be packaged and moved around through your entire application with the same look and feel, the same set of attributes, and the same style and markup all throughout your application. So it's just a way to encapsulate and hide away the internals of your Angular component. Now, I said web component. An Angular component is not the same thing as an HTML web component. But the main difference is that an HTML web component is a reusable component that can work across different frameworks, different technologies, and understood by most modern browsers. Whereas an Angular component is only understood when it's used in the context of an Angular app, meaning that component cannot be reused inside of a Vue.js app or an app that's built using React. So subtle difference there. One is more generic and it has an HTML standard behind it, which is the HTML web component. The other one is just, it only applies to the Angular JavaScript framework. Okay? Okay, all right, so I digress there. Shadow DOM allows for encapsulation and transfer of that component and its styles and its logic across your entire applications and understood by the browser in the larger scheme of things. All right, Virtual DOM. So the Virtual DOM is a mechanism by which you are able to efficiently make updates to a component on your web UI, so that we don't re-render things all the time. So if something changes in your component, you do not do a full page refresh of your entire app or your entire component when something changes, like the text of a header or the text on a button. Only certain localized pieces of your app will change. And to be honest, I think the two frameworks out there that make use of this of the virtualized DOM are React and Vue.js. There's no explicit concept of the virtualized DOM in Angular. You could create something similar by deactivating the change detection, the overly aggressive change detection that happens in Angular, by changing the change detection strategy from the default to on push in your component, and that will allow for your components to only update and modify when the inputs to their parameters change. So, but there's no real virtual DOM implementation mechanism, that process of making the UI more efficient in Angular yet. So anyway, Shadow DOM, a way to encapsulate your components, styles, logic, etc. And then virtualized DOM, and then in a mechanism by which to more efficiently update only the pieces in your components on the DOM, so that you don't do full page refreshes. It's meant to improve performance overall. So so those are the differences. I hope this helps to you, especially on future applications or job interviews, or when discussing those types of esoteric things with your colleagues. You can impress them with that knowledge, I suppose. Anyway, I hope this helps. And until next time, this has been Guillermo Arellano. Take care.